The UPS man dropped off my Sephora order with the new Nars Dual Intensity blushes in it. It was supposed to be here on Friday, and then the winter delayed storm situation happened, so I just got them today. I thought I'd go ahead and do like a first impressions demo with them. They are what I have on my eyes and also the products that I have on my cheeks. Like all the color on my face and on my eyes is from the Nars Dual Intensity blushes, and I did pick up all 6 of them. They just come in standard Nars black packaging, like so. And then the actual packaging that houses the blushes is just like that of the Dual Intensity eyeshadows, that Nars, you know, standard Nars rubber grippy feeling to them, and they do stack up just as the eyeshadows do if you're familiar with the eyeshadows. I thought I would go ahead and do a demo with them as shadows as well, because not all of the shades in the entire range I felt like would, like some of the highlighter shades would suit my skin tone. So at first I really wasn't going to purchase all of them, but I really like the Nars Dual Intensity eyeshadows and I wish that they would broaden their range. So I figured if the formula is like the shadows, which I've heard that it is, I could use those shadows or the blush shades that don't go particularly nice on my skin tone on my eyes, which is kind of what I did, and then to be able to see if they could be used as eyeshadows as well. So the demo for that will be towards the end of the video if you're interested in that, but let's just jump into these duos, which I will swatch them wet and dry for you guys. Just talking a little bit about the formula, they are that jelly baked type of a formula, like the Nars or the MAC in Extra Dimension type of formula. The formula that Estee Lauder Heat Wave, that type of a formula is what these are. The thing that I found with using these, which I've tried to use as many shades as possible, I want to say I used 7 of them total out of 12 shades between all 6 duos, because I was trying to give you guys the best first impression that I could. I found that certain shades, more so the medium to light shades, it really depended on what type of brush you put in the product to be able to pick it up on that brush. I do feel like all of the products have pigmentation to them. Whether or not you are able to get that product off on your brush to then in turn get it on your face kind of depends on what brush you used. To start off with, I'd use the Sephora Pro Contour number 79, which is a new brush by Sephora, and it's a soft synthetic, to try to use it for the highlight shade, which I used in the Craving duo, and it was really difficult to pick up product. Then I went and used a Chikuhodo brush, and that was still a little bit too soft, so I had switched for when I went to blush. I switched to the Chikuhodo White Goat brush, which I found that particular bristle brush really picked up product nice from these duos, because I stuffed it in a couple other ones after the fact. And that really picked up product nice. Now, I didn't pick up the Nars brush that came with the duos. They came out with like a little, it looks like the Chikuhodo contour brush that I always talk about, like a little round brush. Now, Nars brushes are a little bit on the scratchy side, which in my mind that would yield a better picking up of product in here than something like this synthetic brush or even those really soft Chikuhodo brushes. If you look at it like that, you know, the brush may be worth purchasing, but my goat hair brushes pick up the product nicely, so that's what I'll probably end up using. Now, I didn't use any of the products wet on my face, but the primer that I use, which is the RMS Uncover Up Concealer, is really hydrating, and when I go to put these shadows on, it does have a moisture feeling to it. So so I kind of think that they went on the eyes kind of in between dry and wet, I guess. I think that they blended out really nice on the eyes. I feel like they blended out really nice on the face. In particular, these products, I think they look so beautiful on the skin. Every one that I used on my face, I think looks pretty. In swatches on the hands, I feel like they look pretty on the actual skin. I think they look pretty on the eyes. They're, you know, the look came out kind of subdued as opposed to some of the Dual Intensity eyeshadows. These may be a little bit softer on the eyes than the shadows. But I think where one will run into trouble with these particular products is depending on what you use to pick up the actual product, because I think that that's where a little bit of the trouble lies, is picking up product from the pan to the tool that you're using. On the skin, I feel like once you get that product on the skin, it looks beautiful. Some of these are more pigmented than others, which you'll be able to see hopefully in the swatches and stuff like that. But as a whole, once I'm able to get the product on my face, I think that they're beautiful. It's just, you know, gonna have to do a trial and error with, I suppose, a couple other brushes and stuff like that, but I found that a scratchier or a more stiff brush is going to pick up product better for you than a soft synthetic. Like this here hardly picked up any highlight on my brush. Like I was really stuffing it in there. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now let's go ahead and swatch these. I'm going to do them wet and do them dry so you guys can see the dual intensity of them. So this is the first duo, and it is called Craving, right there. We'll swatch them. This is the duo that I used as a highlighter and also a bronzer on my face, and I did find that the bronzer shade didn't go on too orange. I think it's kind of, it's a warm shade, but it's more like of a bronzier bronze shade than anything. So I was happy that it didn't go on too orange. So there they are dry. And then now I'm going to do them wet. I wetted my fingers and I wet my hand. Oh. So here's wet and here's dry of the duo in Craving. This next one is in the shade Frenzy, right there. I mixed these two shades together for the color that's on the inner 2/3 of my lid. That's what I used these for, so you can see that a little bit of the highlight shade is in with the orange color, because this is probably a little bit too dark for me for a highlighter on the face. And I did have to, I used, my brush was too soft. I should have used a more stiff goat brush, but here they are dry. Right there. And then we'll do them wet. So the top is dry and the bottom ones are wet, and that is the shade Frenzy, right there. This one is in the shade Panic, right here, and this is the one I used this color right here to blend out the crease shade on my eyes. I did not use the pink, but I used this one. And again, these blended and they perform really well once you're able to get enough product on your brush. So there they are. Dry, right there, and then here they are wet. So the top swatches are dry and the bottom ones are wet, and that one is in Panic. This one right here is in the shade Fervor, right there. And I use this one right here on my skin for a blush, and it's a beautiful blush on fair skin. I can imagine this being really pretty on a medium deeper skin tone as well as a highlight shade, but on me it was a really pretty blush. And then I used this shade right here on the eyes in the outer corner and through the crease. And again, once you're able to pick up product, it went on nice and it blended really nice once I got it on. So that one is Fervor. So there it is dry, right there, and then we'll get it on here wet. So the top swatches are dry and the bottom ones are wet, and that is Fervor, right there. This one is the duo called Jubilation, right there. I used this one right here underneath the brow bone as a highlight shade. I imagine both these shades looking really pretty on light, medium, even deeper skin tones. For me, they're a little bit on the dark side for a highlight on my cheeks, but again, once I got them on, they performed nice, but I had to, you know, stuff my brush in there to get the product on. So that is Jubilation. And here they are dry, right there, and then we'll do them wet right here. So the top swatches are dry and then the bottom one is wet. And then oddly enough, the one that I was drawn to the most out of all six right off the bat was this one, and I didn't use it. It's the only one that I didn't use a color out of, and this is in Adoration, right there. So I'll swatch these dry. I imagine this color is going to be, it's going to be a really pretty highlight. And I think that mixing these two together on my fair skin is going to be a really pretty blush as well. So here they are, dry. Great pigmentation on that guy. Well, great pigmentation on both of them actually. And then here they will be wet. So the top swatches are dry and then the bottom ones are wet. So you can see in all of the swatches, wet, they definitely pick up in intensity. So I guess I should have probably wet my brush for the eye look, maybe. But I typically don't do that, so that's why I guess I didn't. So that one is Adoration. So hopefully that was helpful for you guys. I do want to make note, these two duos here are quite similar. The Nars Craving duo in the dual intensity, and then this here is the new Makeup Forever Undetectable Face Contour in 01. Both are that baked jelly type of formula as well. So I'm just going to swatch these for reference for you guys if you're interested. So this index finger is the Makeup Forever bronzer, and then this middle finger is the Nars one. So I think that the Nars one is a little bit more bronzy, and the Makeup Forever one pulls a little bit orange on me. So the top one is your Makeup Forever right here, and this is your Nars one. And then I'll do the highlight shades. So here's our Makeup Forever highlight, and then here's the Nars highlight right there. So they are pretty doggone similar right there. I do feel like the Makeup Forever one has a little bit more shine to it than the Nars one. So here's the Makeup Forever and here's the Nars. So just for reference there. I almost forgot, the amount of product in the blush is 6 grams, and the amount of product you get in a single eyeshadow is 1.5 grams. So you're getting the total of 4 eyeshadow singles in one of these. So if you did want to buy, you know, the blushes for a shadow, you're getting a lot of product for the money in comparison to a single shadow, because these are $29, the Nars Dual Intensity eyeshadow singles right here, and then these are $45. So you're getting a lot more product for the money if you look at it like that. So that's just something to make note of. 6 grams in the blush duos and 1.5 grams in the single shadows. So overall, what I really, really like about the dual intensity blushes is the finish on the skin. Getting product from the pan to the brush to the face can be a little bit troublesome depending on which one it is and what brush you're using. But once you get that product on, it performs really well, I think. So that's just something you're gonna have to kind of make note of, I guess, and something that I have found. Anyway, hopefully all of that was helpful for you guys. And if you're interested in seeing the look that's on my face and seeing how these products went on for the first time for me, you can hang tight and we'll get into it right now. On a Sephora Pro Contour brush, number 79, which this is a new brush to Sephora's Pro range. It's a synthetic. I'm going to go into Craving, the Craving duo, and I'm going to go into the highlighting side. Oop, and I'm going to put this on the tops of my cheeks with that. And I can already tell with a super soft synthetic brush, product might be a little bit difficult to pick up, but I went ahead and switched to my Chikuhodo highlight brush for the rest of my highlighting needs. Put a little right here, top of my brow, above my lip, and right there. And then on a Marc Jacobs The Shape brush, which actually fits pretty nicely size-wise into these little duos here, I'm going to pick up the other half in the Craving duo right there. And I'm going to see how this works as a bronzer. It looks nice and bronzy in the pan, but I've heard a couple people say it's orangey, but we're going to see. I'm pretty fair, so that'll tell you. And I'll further blend this out too, but you know, I think that's actually a pretty bronzy color. I think it's almost a true bronzy color. Cool. Doesn't look too orange on me. Put some on my forehead. This isn't the brush I like to blend out with, so I'm going to grab a different brush for that. Put a little under my neck, on my jaw, a little on my ear. And then with a e.l.f. Kabuki face brush, this is what I use to press a light dusting of translucent powder over my BB cream. I'm just going to go ahead and buff that, really buff this into the skin. Ooh, you can kind of see some powder coming out of there. And then for blush, I'm going to go into the Fervor F-E-R-V-O-R duo, and I'm going to pick up the lighter side, and I'm going to use that as a blush. I'm going to use that on a Chikuhodo cheek brush here and pick up some of that. This is going to pick up a little bit more product than those other brushes. Put this on my cheeks. Oh yeah. A little heavy-handed there. Let's buff that out a bit with that e.l.f. Kabuki. And then I do always like to go over the top of my cheekbones. I don't usually pick up any more product, but just really buff that out with my highlighter brush, the top edge of that blush. But that is a really pretty color. I already went ahead and primed my lids with the RMS Uncover Up Concealer in 00. And then for my lid, I think I'm going to use the Frenzy duo. And I'm going to mix these two shades together kind of like this on a flat shader brush. This is a Hakuhodo S133, which is pretty soft, so I don't know how well this is going to pick up product, but we shall see. I'm just dipping back and forth between the two shades. Let's put this on the inner 2/3 of the lid. So it's taking some building up for sure. I know if I couldn't find my other brush, but it's a little bit more stiff than this one, it would have probably picked up product a little bit better than this brush because it's pretty soft. And then for the outer part of the lid and then through the crease, I'm going to take the Duo in Fervor? It's hard to say, on a Chikuhodo little brush like this. And I'm going to go into this shade right here, and I'm going to pick up a bunch of that. I'm going to put it on this outer corner here. And kind of pull it outwards. And then on a Chikuhodo GSN7 brush, I'm going to go into the Jubilation duo, and I'm going to pick up this color right here, the more orange toned one, and I'm going to put that underneath the brow. Pick up a bunch of that there, and put it right here. And I'm going to bring it down almost to where that crease color is, but not quite. And then I'm going to go into the Panic duo, and I'm going to go into this shade right here on a Goss number 19 brush, and I'm going to use that to blend out the crease color. See what happens. I feel like we might be a little bright, but I'm just going to go right into the crease with that. Pick up a bit more product. I think this is turning out quite pretty. And then just kind of fade it up into that highlight. Then I'm going to take that GSN7. I'm not going to pick up any more product, but I'm going to just make sure that all these edges are very well blended here. And then I think I'm going to go into the Fervor duo again and pick up just a bit more of this darker color and put a little bit more of that through the crease. Kind of lost a little bit of that depth there. Yeah, about like that. It's really pretty. For the lips, I chose the Nars Velvet Lip Liner in the shade Ansoleil, Ansesoleil. Everything will be listed down below. And I'm just going to go ahead and line my lips with this and kind of fade it in just a bit. And then I'm just going to go ahead and fill in my lips with the Nars Audacious Lipstick in the shade Julie. I believe this shade is one of those 10 exclusives to Barney's or either the Nars website, but it's a really pretty color. So there is the overall finished look using the new Nars Dual Intensity blushes. I hope that you guys found this helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.